Good evening and welcome to another scene in the Living World of Darkness, the Camarilla and Anarch venue. Tonight we are at a very seedy establishment. Um, but before we go to the main event, before we just deep right into the smelly underbelly of New York's underground and underworld filth, a fairly new face in the city like, like a block, 2 blocks away, is just walking over to the bar, and her phone rings. That person is Chloe Gray, and her phone rings.
And she answers her phone.
Hey, girl. So you found the place?
Yeah, I found it. This is what you'd call a place.
Well, yeah. It's Irish people. I mean, just don't take. Listen. He's the sheriff, and he's doing a okay job, but just I mean, he's adventurous, so you can expect him to be a little bit. Hey, I'm the boss here, and just don't let it get under your skin, all right?
Got it. So he's
And
sheriff.
just,
Don't say anything.
I mean,
And
unless of
keep
course he
quiet.
asks you, but just speak unless spoken to, unless he's actually not that typical guy, like for them at least. So he might be a little bit more chipper than normal, but just yeah, just say that you come. Just say something like, "Chat sends his regards and said that I should introduce myself to you," or something like that. They like shit like that.
Ah, gotcha.
All right. And if there's any problems, you can give me a call afterwards. All right.
Will do.
But yeah, and yeah, just stick to the basics. And you'll be fine. He's an all right guy when it comes down to it. But yeah. All right. Do you have any questions?
No, no questions. I think I got this.
All right. Great. You'll do fine. You'll do fine. And he says goodbye and hangs up. And to the main event, we have um, a very, very Irish pub with lots of loud and probably drunk Irishmen and a couple of the city's kindred. At this point, we have the sheriff and a very new face in the city called Jasmine. What are they doing, and where in the bar are they sitting?
Uh, Jasmine will come into the bar dressed in cargo trousers and a hoodie, and she'll go immediately towards the sheriff because it's his place. So she'll go over and try to pay her respects as best she can over the noise of the bar. She's clearly trying to say something to Sam, but whether or not he catches anything over the noise of everyone chatting, don't know.
Yeah, Sam. Sam is kind of sat in a corner. Still with like quite a few individuals surrounding him. He appears to be having a raucous. And then he sees Jasmine head over, and he kind of catches what she's trying to say. And some of the guys kind of leer at you because they have no idea who you are, but they're not going to turn down some like hot blonde sitting down with them because they're rather simple-minded gentlemen. Sam finishes kind of his sentence. It says, fella.
And as the as the sheriff is embracing his inner Toreador and admiring the very, very well fine-tuned features of Jasmine and is raptured in paralysis. Two people, well, two other people enter the bar at this point. One is the city's master of harpies, and the other is another new face. Named Alec Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Alec is in a leather jacket and jeans and just kind of striding in a bit confident, but hands in his pockets, just kind of a bit nervous. All these Irish people, and well, he's Russian, so he's kind of just like, oh boy. And let's just get this over with.
He does not draw too much attention because the very updressed and the visage of Theodore is one very, very well-kept man in very, very expensive suit. And his demeanor and posture in this place is just sticking out. So it's almost like Alec is just like, he fits right in because compared to Theodore, he does. And Theodore just looks around, looks at Spillane and Jasmine and just nods. And yeah, please, Alec, please come this way.
Yes, as Alec will follow kind of meekly behind.
Good evening, Theodore. Jasmine
Good
will
evening.
she'll stand up and offer him the chair she's acquired from one of the more gallant young men.
Well, thank you, but Spillane, do you have a more private place?
I got a back room for you.
Very well. He will just, like, with a gesture, he will just gesture for Jasmine and Alec to follow the sheriff. And at this point, Chloe will enter the bar.
She's a girl in her about mid-early 20s. She's wearing a long-sleeved shirt. She's very pale. Got some dark eyeliner on. She's wearing combat boots, as befits any Bruja. And she's got, some of those spiked, what are they? Wristbands.
Ah, yeah.
And she enters the bar and she looks around. I assume that Chad would have told her what.
Yeah, and, well, what you can see is 3 people are leaving the place. 2 of them do not seem to fit in very well. One is a blonde, really good looking, and one is a guy in a leather jacket who stands out. And then there is this guy you see in the picture, who also, he actually stands out more, and he seems to be with them. I would say that you could fairly easily, I mean, if anyone sticks out here, it's them. And the guy leading them away at the moment could be the sheriff, from what you've been told.
All right, so she'll head over there. Her walk is very confident, very, very not like it's not like a swagger, but she looks like she's got a mission, like she's on a mission. She heads over to the little group.
Theodore doesn't notice you coming. He's the last guy, and does actually have one success. He stands there for a moment, just waits, looks at you, and just smiles, and just, good evening. Oh, I thought I stood out here. Would you perhaps be here to meet Mr. Spillane?
I would.
Ah, very well. I would have thought the current situation would lead people to walk away from this place, but apparently quite the opposite is true. Please, come with me. And he actually, like, fairly, he offers you a hand, but not, like, to grab it, but like an old school for a lady
Like loop her
to
arm
follow.
through.
Yeah. He offers you that,
She'll-
which actually makes some of the Irish guys just look at him and just, well, fucking wank. That's not Irish, but that's fucking cool. You'll hear some scoffs at his way.
She'll like take her hair, put her hair back slightly, and kind of like shake her head, and then put her hand through his arm. Oh, I thank you, such a gentleman.
Well, certain habits die very, very hard. And a little after the others, you will follow them in and just, yes, as soon as they get into the private room, Theodore just closes the door and he just looks, just, Mr. Spillane, can you tell me something? I'm assuming that a war zone would make people run from this place, wouldn't it? Yet we have another new face in the city, it seems.
Theodore is with Alec, right?
He is bringing in someone you did not see.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, new
Well,
face.
it would appear our society lacks a good degree of common sense, but I welcome it.
Please, everyone, sit. I must say, I was thinking I would bringing one new face, but none for the price of two. I'm surprised. I believe introductions are in order. My name is Theodore Williams. I am the Master of Harpies. Yes, I should be available for most inquiries for the current state of affairs in the city, if that is required, and, well, any questions you might have, can direct them to me. And this is Mr. Samuel Spillane. He is our esteemed sheriff in these troubled times and is quite a competent fellow, I must say. And he gestures to Spillane to take the word.
As Blaine seems to be courteously waiting, Jasmine will take the opportunity to introduce herself and say, "I'm Jasmine, I'm also new here."
Yes, where are my manners? Of course. Please. And he gestures to the two others.
My name is Alec. Alec will stick out his hand and shake quite firmly, but when anyone who touches his hand, his touch is like ice cold, so you only briefly shake.
You'll notice that Theodore is wearing gloves as he shakes his hand.
He's just shaking, but he'll move back very quickly anyway. Probably customary reaction. Yeah, pleasure to meet you all, as he kind of nods his head and sits back down kind of awkwardly.
Jasmine's hand is quite warm and fleshy. She's got blush of health and things, so she feels quite human.
He kind of smiles at the touch and probably just shakes it. And it is a pleasure to meet such a lovely woman in such a nice place, as he kind of smiles awkwardly.
Why, thank you. I take it cold hands mean a warm heart.
That, yes, in certain cases, well, hopefully you think the same of me. As he gives you this kind of awkward smile.
And you, my dear?
I'm Chloe. One of Chad's. He sent me over to meet the sheriff.
Ah, Chad. Ah, okay. So you've been sick. Oh, my apologies. Uh, yes, I'm quite busy. I must have missed. Well, I do not know. He has no need to inform me, I suppose. Um, oh, it's a very good pleasure to meet you all. What do you know of the current situation in the city?
Kind of awkward glance at the others.
Yeah, Alec kind of does an awkward glance as well. There seems to be much trouble from what I'm understanding.
Quite so.
Trouble or opportunity?
Why not both?
They tend to go together. I mean, just imagine if this was one of the old cities, say in Europe or something. Think how little opportunity there'd be for us youngsters.
Yeah, I
I
like
mean,
this.
there's always opportunity for ones like you know, but that's just because of certain features of yours.
You really are too kind.
A sardonic wink from the goth chick.
Oh, we are getting along famously. Very well. I do suppose I should inform you of certain things. The area known as Queens in the city, I do not know if any of you frequent there, is a place that is, well, tends to be home for some other. I would avoid it. It is troublesome in a different way, not necessarily connected to our good friends in the Sabbat. Likewise, Central Park is, well, a place to be avoided. I will not, well, there's no forbidding, I suppose. You can go where you want to, but I would avoid it at all cost.
You got it, boss.
Yes, I will make note of that.
Me too, but I am kind of curious.
Well, there's Central Park is actually a fairly large place. There's a couple of, well, people who are somewhat dispositioned to hate our guts, shall we say. Lupines. He smiles, and he just stay out of the place. They are not in the mood for chat or negotiation. They tend to just be quite ruthlessly effective, losing their
Yes.
shit, and well, just say.
My side did warn me about the range of the lupines. He did say to keep an eye out for parks and wastelands.
Very, very good advice.
But some of them have moved into cities nowadays, I gather.
Well, given the fact that there are some here, yes, there's some of them have. But stay out of the park, and you should be quite safe. And as the good sheriff awakens from his secret toreador entrancement of beauty of the good loins of Theodore as he is standing there in all his God damn it, not again.
Our sheriff is otherwise indisposed out of character.
He is answering a phone call at the moment. He seems quite agitated. Oh well, he is a very busy man, but I suppose I should tell you that I'm sure since you are the childer, he says, he's not making you ask, but he says, since you are a childer or associate of Mr. Chad, I'm quite sure that you're quite aware of the Well, what encompasses this about?
Bits and pieces here and there. I've only been, this, and she kind of gestures at her body for less than a year, so still haven't learned a lot.
Oh. Well, you are in good hands. I've heard some. Everyone can make a perception empathy roll, and I will make a manipulation.
I
I
always
can
forget
talk
empathy
now.
and etiquette.
That's great.
Wow, he
The
has
sheriff-
5 successes. Wow. Okay.
And I botch.
I don't think I have the dice to beat that.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, and I only got one.
okay, but
There's only
yeah,
one man who can succeed at this
he
empathy.
says, I've heard some quite good things about the two. Then it is limited what I've heard. Jasmine and Alec are. I mean, it seems like he's maybe not too familiar with them. Chloe, you're quite sure that he has a very secret, long-lasting respect for both Chad and Tad.
Okay, she doesn't say anything. She just keeps her mouth
Just-
shut.
yeah. Yeah, and he just, well, they are capable in their fields. But, well, as the situation, looks at the door, does the sheriff enter the room again?
Yes, he shall. If his connection holds, I swear to God. As the sheriff re-enters from whatever screaming
call.
he had to, a phone call, a very loud one of many expletives and rage, vaguely referencing the Italians and them being a bunch of stuck-up twats who are trying to steal his and his family's well-earned, hard-earned fucking money. And drugs, and guns, and pretty much everything, actually, as it turns out, according to this man's account. He re-enters the room, and you see a man of decent build in about his late 20s. His hair's combed back. He has, generally is in the picture, a leather jacket over this kind of formal casual attire and a red tie. You can vaguely smell the scent of ash on him. It's kind of faint, especially in the room. It's a bit easier to tell just because of all the smell of alcohol and smoke in the bar. And he just kind of picks up a shotgun propped up at the side, just kind of lazily with one hand walks over to the sitting area. It's like a sofa, 2 chairs, and a glass table, TV. There's an ashtray there. Maybe that's where you're getting the smell from. You don't really know.
So, Sheriff, perhaps you could give a briefing on the more tactical nature of the current affairs?
Right. Well, good evening to you all, and hello and welcome to the Hot Zone. Now, I don't have to explain to you what this is about, correct? Anyone? No? Good. Recently, the SWAT decided to come crawling out of their hidey hole, which was Staten Island, where all the bad things in New York go, apparently, and decided to come over here. Usually our borders are quite well defined. That is not so anymore. They are currently in possession of Washington Heights, Harlem, And just let me check real quick the last area. Last area is Upper Manhattan. So a fair amount of the city. But we're working on retaking those areas. Just stay out of them for the time being. If you go there without my permission, I get to shoot you in the face as well. So you really didn't want to do that. Now,
You got it, boss.
No, I don't want to be shot in the face anyway.
ain't good for your health, I can tell you that much. You're currently in the domain of the Invictus coterie, my coterie. I'm Primogen Salinas. You can hang out here if you want. You don't feed here.
Oh,
My personal domain is Battery Park. Just so you know which areas to stay out of.
my deepest apologies. The official rack of the city is Hell's Kitchen. Just
Yes, if you want to feed, that's a good place for you to go. Plenty of people there, still very secure from the Sabbat.
luckily.
The initial
So are
threat
you-
of... Oh, sorry.
Oh, you go first, man. So I thought there was a silence. You go first.
The initial tide of Sabbat is over, so you don't have to worry about getting jumped every few feet you walk down the street, but I'd still travel as a group just in case. There's still little shovelheads, and Halloween's coming up, and if you know anything about the Sabbat, they do love their Halloween. So I'd brace yourself for that, for the 31st.
Well, Euro was hoping that Palo Grande was coming early this year.
Aye. Also, you may want to be careful with how you interact with the law, because currently the Sabbat have the mayor on task with them. So you may want to watch it. May want to watch your footing when dealing with even mortal institutions, especially if it's about know who you are. It should also be noted that you would very much know who Sam is. He has the reputation merit. He was involved in the prior Sabbat War in New York and was involved in the killing of a Red Lister. And that is his ending sentence.
Yeah, no, Alec is kind of strokes beard and kind of looking, going, nodding, he just nods, just taking all this information. Some of it he doesn't even understand as he goes. So you are looking for people to help in this conflict?
As far as
I
I'm...
would-
Oh, sorry.
I'm afraid that, well, it's a fairly dry remark. It just comes from Theodore. Just not a lot of us will probably have a choice in that matter. We will all assist, since this is quite the crisis.
Uh,
Normally this would just be a matter for the sheriff and his hounds, i.e. me and my pals. But unfortunately, this ain't just a Sabbat pack we're dealing with. I've already killed multiple packs. We're dealing with a lot of them. Ain't just a lot of shovelheads. So yes, you will be helping me out.
And apparently 2 traitors.
Great.
One likewise involved in the last Sabbat War, and as far as I've heard, also involved in the killing of the Red Lister, Emily Stevenson, former Hound, and quite dangerous individual. But
I'm gonna have to make a roll.
I do believe that a plan is in the works to making sure that she finds her final death quite soon.
Jasmine seems to have gone very still at this point, mostly because the sheriff never put down that shotgun, as far as I recall.
He didn't. He's still holding it.
Exactly. That's why she's gone very, very still.
Alex seems oddly relaxed. He's just kind of, don't know why, maybe it's just being around stuff like that. He's just kind of sitting there, just listening to this whole thing with stroking his beard.
For some inordinate reason, for some literally incomprehensible reason that doesn't really seem to obey the laws of physics, the main source of smoke in the room seems to be the barrel of the gun. For whatever reason, it's still smoking somehow.
Yeah.
The Bruja is just sitting there, just very calmly, ironically.
Alex gonna exchange a look with Jasmine, kind of going, "You seen this shit?" That type of look.
Yeah, she's looking around every now and again. Mostly she's not taking her eyes off the gun, not moving, not breathing, and kind of hoping he's going to put it down.
Yeah, Alex is starting to think the same.
You sweet summer child. So that's the situation at large in the city. Now, I'm assuming you came here to help, considering you happened to arrive in the middle of a hot zone, in the middle of a war. If nothing else, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to nod. He's still holding a shotgun.
Yes.
Alex will nod as well, going, "Dad, yes. Do you know if the Sabbat are taking prisoners by any chance?"
I remember the last time they tried doing that. Ain't any more, from what I know.
Well, he kind of goes very stone-faced. Well, I'm here to kill them as much as I can.
It is generally the prudent option when dealing with the Sabbat. Dear cousin, well, first wave is over. Now is our chance to consolidate and reinforce ourselves. By the end of next week, I'm going to be launching an attack on Harlem. I hope you'll be there. He kind of smiles as if he's not really hoping, he's expecting.
Nods, just nods. He still has the shotgun. Just nod and smile.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
Alex
so-
does
I'm sure common sense tells me nod and smile. Nod and smile.
Alex does the same thing.
Who would know that a shotgun could grant a man so much leverage?
I think it's just the fact that smoke is.
Hey, I'm a
Coming
Bruja. I
out
don't
with
have
it.
fortitude. I can't be too ballsy.
This thing genuinely looks like it's been recently fired, and as you talk more with Sam, it becomes rather apparent that there is. It's not ash. It's literally like faint ambers on the cuffs of his shirt that show through his jacket. He's been out and about. He's been doing work.
Well, my sheriff, it is quite a credit to your station that you have time for these formalities, but formalities must be observed. And to accept us at your, in your part of the city is quite an honor.
No problem. I wasn't just about to meet all the new kids in the middle of Harlem now, was I?
Talking about retaking Harlem, we've already previously discussed my skill set. How is it I may best assist in helping you prepare for this?
You hear his knuckles crack with anticipation.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop breathing again at that point.
Well, the Sabbat have put up little cute flags wherever the places they've taken. Ghost Soul Club, one of the other buildings where the refugee camp was, and somewhere in Upper Manhattan. I would like you, if you could, to map out where they're living outside of that, because of course they've got that big obvious fortress. But they're also probably living in a few buildings around there.
So you think the flags are bait to draw us in?
Potentially, it's their main stronghold, but it won't be their only set of havens.
If I wanted to draw people into a horrible trap, something like a flag that's an obvious provocation would seem to be a good way of doing it.
I will definitely be going after the flag. I intend to retake that fucking bar. It belonged to the former sheriff. But I do want numbers, and if you're feeling bold, I'd appreciate it if you could get inside that building and give me some numbers inside there as well.
I'll see how bold I'm feeling. I take it I have your permission to go into the district. I wouldn't like to meet that shotgun of yours any closer.
Aye, you are permitted to enter Harlem and only Harlem.
Thank you, I hear you, Sheriff.
'Tis appreciated.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you that Damien did survive the encounter and he is up and about again?
That's good to hear. I was beginning to think it was a total loss.
Well, not entirely, no. And from what I've heard from the Chores, it was quite costly for them as well.
That's good to hear. The fact that we stopped their momentum at all shows that this tide is probably going to turn rather quickly. And that is, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes on that subterfuge roll, because he's not particularly confident in that statement. He has a chanting voice, so he had -2 difficulty. Either way, we'll be taking it slow one at a time. We don't need to rush things now that we stopped them in their tracks. It's just a case of redefining where each side stands. And then showing them why we hold ownership over Manhattan and they don't.
Well, do any of, and he mostly points to the two new faces. Do any of you have any questions or matters that needs to be cleared up before the sheriff might have, well, he does have a quite tight schedule, so do you have any questions? Or
if you want, I could assist he kind of gestures at Jasmine. If I could assist her in the identifying the Sabbat number, I'm quite capable of moving quickly and silently. Of course, my sheriff.
More scouts we have, the better, but if you spot it, get out of there real fast. I can secure you a couple of exit routes if you need it to be there. Sorry. If you need a ride.
So perhaps maybe Michelson and I can put our heads together over the next couple of nights and come up with a good plan for that.
Yes, he gives Jasmine a smile. That would be most acceptable. As he kind of just gives her kind of the once over type of look and just kind of smiles to himself.
She'll smile sweetly back. After all, she might need him. She'll slide over a contact card.
You slide over his own. And it will be a pleasure to working with you.
She'll also slide one over to Chloe because, while we're exchanging them.
Chloe takes it, looks at it, pockets it, and takes out 2 contact numbers, hands them to the other 2.
Thank you, Chloe.
And one to the sheriff with a very polite bow, in case you need to call on me for anything.
Aye, what do you say you're good at, Chloe?
Well, if you need someone's face beaten, got me a dude who taught me how to do that. Got some friends on the street, some people I know.
He looks at her discerningly, kind of silently, kind of judging her build. She's a bruiser. He kind of takes that into account.
Her build, by the way, she does look unusually she even for a vampire, she looks unusually healthy. She's very. You get the feeling she's a bit stronger than she looks just by looking at her.
Yeah,
that's not an oxymoron.
Yeah, I get it. I expected to be at this sort of Harlem then. You should do well.
I'll do my best.
Aye, most of them are shovel heads anyway. Although I would warn, don't fuck with the Italians right now. They got a real pushy asshole leading them. And I don't need another fucking war.
And
You got it, boss. She gives him a thumbs up.
as far as I know, I do not know if we have any. Pardon me, my sheriff, but do you have any official stance on Emily?
I'm coordinating with Gwen on that one. I'll get back to you on it, but if she's spotted, don't engage her. You will die. Tell me, get out of there. Tell me where you spotted her, and we'll track her down from there and hunt her together.
Very well.
But you are never to take her on alone. She was there in the first war, and she took down 12 individuals by herself, and most of them were shovelheads.
You say don't do the thing, I won't do the thing, boss.
The thing is, to be honest, it might be easier if you're not spotted at all when it comes to her. She has learned to move awfully fast.
That's what a lighter and hairspray's for.
You know, I like this new face. You can see Theodore just, it's not like suggestive or anything. He just has a warm smile and just nods in the direction of Chloe.
She's not like directly facing him, so I'm not roll perception empathy on that.
Sam just looks kind of confident and cocky, as in boisterous, as he's been the whole evening.
Or as the others say it, an asshole. No,
I mean, you're wrong. Sam is a masterclass in the art of patrol, but this shall become more apparent down the line. Well, that wraps up my little sit rep. You all got your jobs, you know what you're going to be. You're free to do what you will. But again, don't bite any motherfuckers are in my bar. He just like smiles really widely, like way too widely, to the point of just being unnerving.
Which, considering he hasn't stopped stroking that shotgun, is probably not making us feel any comfier.
Yeah, no, you can hear it like as he's basically got it ready to fire at this point. You've heard the kind of clicking sounds, and the loading, and the lever being pulled. He's not pointing at you, but it's holstered. You know, he's holding it down towards the ground. It's not held up in a threatening way, but he's been holding it the entire time.
Alec at that is kind of like, well, if with your leave, I think we should. As he kind of glances at Jasmine, we should leave. Yes, that we will not disturb you in your bar. He's kind of just looking directly at the shotgun, like, don't fire, don't fire, don't fire.
Yeah, Jasmine seems to be in full agreement with this course of action.
Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure. You're free to visit whenever you want, but do call me first. I want to be able to put on a show for my guests.
You got it, boss man. And Chloe she's not really backing away. She's just very respectfully taking her time, backing away from me with a shotgun.
Yeah, get up from the chair, curtsy first to the sheriff, then to the master of harpies, and then, keeping face towards them, withdraw slowly towards the door, and then out into the bar.
Sam, when she curtsies, Sam bows and then teasingly pats her on the head with a shotgun.
Yeah, she does jump a bit at that, but you know, she manages to get her face under control. She's clearly a relatively young vampire. She's still a bit freaked out by things like guns and maniac sheriffs who covered in ash and, you know.
He's not covered in it, but you can see it's like literal ambers on the cuffs of his shirt. He's quite clearly been out, literally just slaughtering people.
Yeah, that's not going to make her feel any happier.
Sam, on the other hand, is very happy about getting to kill a shovelhead every night. It's great exercise, really.
Yeah.
Well, my sheriff, I will take my leave as well, unless you have something you would have to discuss.
If you could announce for me that in 7 nights we're going to be launching an attack on Harlem, I'd appreciate it. Details, of course, will be left in the dark for now. He winks at him. Obviously, because traitors and shit.
Yeah. I will declare it with moderation. Smiles warmly and just bows.
Sam bows. With that.
Yeah, the Master of Heartbeats will follow fairly close by the others. Yeah, as the 3 of the 4 leave the bar, that is the moment that we will end this scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.